Let's look at tonight's Spurs-Clippers game, Zach LaVine and the Spurs, and how to fix the Spurs issues.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, this is Hot Rod.
And I'm RC from San Antonio Spurs.
And you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs, right here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you back. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's get your work week started the right way, right here on Locked On Spurs, your go-to spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. You guys are the everydayers. We appreciate you stopping by every single day. Hey, what are we talking about today? We're going to look at tonight's Spurs-Clippers game. Quick preview. I know. We'll get through it. Then we're going to bring in our next guest. He is James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to go over that whole LaVine Spurs rumor that popped up last week, and then ask, how can the Spurs fix the ship? What are ways the Spurs can do to correct things? Basically get them off this losing streak. All that and more coming up right here on Locked On Spurs. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to PrizePicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use code, all lowercase, LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. So your Spurs are on their 4-game homestand. Has been fun. Lost the first 2 of those games. That last game was pretty... I was there, everybody. It was not pleasant to see. But they got the Clippers tonight. Let's go and look at tonight's matchup. Spurs-Clippers. Can the Spurs snap their 8-game losing streak tonight versus a familiar face, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Westbrook, Paul George? It's going to be a tall task for this young squad to pull out the upset. Well, let's take a quick preview of tonight's game. Spurs come into tonight's game 3-10. The Clippers are 4-7. As mentioned, the Spurs are on a 4-game homestand and are on an 8-game losing skid. Ouch. The last game Spurs played, let's do a little game rewind here. The Spurs lost to the Memphis Grizzlies 120-108, despite holding on to a double-figure lead, about 19 points during the game. They blew it. In that fourth quarter, it was just a total collapse. The Grizzlies scored over 30 points. The Spurs just couldn't get any offense going. Wemby watch, he had 19 points, 8 blocks to lead the team. That's a lot of blocks. And 13 rebounds. Osman scored 13 points. And Zach Collins, he finished with 16 points and 7 rebounds. Keldon Johnson had 22. Injury report, Devin Vassell is doubtful for tonight. So it looks like another game without Devin. We'll see if the Spurs can rally and get the win tonight without him. For those who are on jersey watch, the Spurs will be in their City Edition jerseys tonight. So, yeah, another chance to see those alt jerseys. And, hopefully they'll bring the Spurs good luck. Hasn't worked out already. So what are 5 things we're going to look at tonight? Spurs-Clippers. Well, first of all, the Clippers, there's some good news here. The Clippers have lost 6 straight games on the road. That bodes well for San Antonio. We'll see if that trend continues for the Clippers. Keep your eye on the Clippers defense. The Clippers have recorded more steals than their opponents in 3 straight games. So they're getting those easy, quick, steals. They're going in for those transition points. Spurs going to have to really value the ball tonight and keep the Clippers away from transition basket. And this is for the Spurs to get back on transition defense. That has been an issue for the San Antonio Spurs. Okay, so the good news is if you want to keep an eye on the scoreboard, the Clippers are 0-3 when trailing at halftime on the road. So hopefully the Spurs will be up at halftime at the Frost Center. Now, as mentioned, the Spurs are on a losing streak, 8 games straight, but it's not just an overall losing streak. Talk about the Clippers now. History's now on the Spurs side. The Spurs have lost 5 games overall to the Clippers, as well as 2 losses in a row at home. Not going to be easy for the Spurs to get the W tonight. So for this Roser, I wonder who's going to step up, who might be able to fill in, while Devin's likely going to be out. Well, in 11 career games versus the Clippers, Keldon Johnson is averaging 12 points per game, including 5.9 rebounds and 2 assists. Hopefully he'll be an extra 1-2 punch for Wemby, and it should be interesting. I'm definitely going to be interested in watching Wemby versus Zubac. I think I'd like to see him, how he deals with a big, burly, big man like that. You've been seeing a lot of opposition kind of really throw their body at him. Zubac is a big boy, so we'll see how Wemby deals with that. Coming up next, we got James Pledger of San Antonio Sports Star. We're going to discuss that Zach LaVine Spurs rumor and then get into how the Spurs can fix things before it gets any worse. Right here on Locked On Spurs. But first, I want to talk to you about PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports DFS platform in North America. They are the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, and it's just you versus the numbers. That's it. So you don't have to worry about battling those sharks or those pros. It's just you versus the numbers. You pick more than or less than 2 to 6 players and on their stat projection and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks is the most fun you'll have. Look, you can win up to 25 times your money, and especially during the basketball season. Hey, the Spurs season started already. Jump into daily fantasy sports right now with PrizePicks. So again, you just select 2 or more players, and then you pick more or less on their projected stats, and then you place your entry. And look, with basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball. It's something called the Specials League. So basically what it is, it's a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. So for example, Keldon Johnson and Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made and receptions. So you'll have fun with that. Look, you can get those, especially if you get those winnings, because PrizePicks offers quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, an enormous selection of players and stat types, and that's what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. I use it. You should use it too. Go download PrizePicks right now. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use code LockedOnNBA for first deposit match up to $100. Locked On NBA. That's the code you want to use. You'll want to go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA for that $100 first deposit match. PrizePicks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy.
This is Emily Swallow, and you are listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
And as promised, we're now joined by James Pledger. He is with San Antonio Sports Star. You see him on your screen. Make sure to follow him on X at @IamPledger. He's also the host of Extra Innings on the Star. He'll talk about that in just a few minutes. And he likely will talking about this too, if not last week, then definitely today. Zach LaVine and the Spurs. Yes, a rumor popped out over, the end of last week via Yahoo Sports that the Spurs are on LaVine's short list if the Bulls want to go ahead and trade him. And why, you may ask? Well, the Wemby effect supposedly would be love to pair with Wemby and then reunited with Pop from the time with Team USA. Pledger, you're going to buy or sell this rumor, and should the Spurs go ahead and do it?
I'll buy the rumor.
Yeah.
Because I do. Jake Fisher, previously with Bleacher Report, now with Yahoo Sports, a very reputable reporter. Yeah. So if he's got the Spurs on a short list, and you look at those other teams on his short list, contenders, right? Contenders. The Spurs are the aberration on there. Yeah. But I think he sees what they're trying to build. So I do think that, yes, the Wemby effect and playing with Pop and wanting to kind of help them get things going in the right direction, I think that holds some weight. Should they? Yes, because I do think that this team, as of right now, unless they actually start to use Wemby in that way, don't have a go-to guy that they believe in for the most part. And I'll go one further on your questions. Will they? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if they will.
I don't know.
It doesn't feel like anything that they want to do. If you look at what they did this offseason, they left everything as is. This is a team that is trending towards building through the draft. If you look at what they're doing, it looks very eerily similar to what Oklahoma City's doing. They didn't go out and get a bunch of names in free agency or trade for players. They got one player, and that's it. And maybe Zach is this one player that they want, but they went out and got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who for them has turned into an all-NBA player.
Right. Yeah.
But other than that, that team's all their own guys.
Yeah. Yeah. That was been the knock so far this season with the Spurs team, is that they are too young. and perhaps they need an established NBA All-Star presence, LaVine fits the bill. We know he can provide an offensive punch. The Spurs need that, as we've been seeing the last few games of just going scoreless and these droughts that allow teams to claw back in. We'll talk about their defense later. But my issue is, though, if their defense is an issue, and that's been one of the biggest issues, then LaVine does not fit in that way. He's not going to provide a defensive punch. I know what you're going to probably bring up about Team USA, but nevertheless,
that was a defense first team, and he's aware of it. I just don't think defense is stressed as much in Chicago as it would be in San Antonio. I think he's amenable to playing defense if called upon to do so.
Yeah, and it's not like the Spurs.
To be fair, this team isn't playing defense either. So
exactly. No. To the Spurs side of things, they can match any reasonable request that the Bulls want for LaVine. You want picks, first round, second rounders, Spurs got them. You need young players, Spurs got them. Team friendly deals, Spurs have them. So they're well equipped to match any reasonable offer for the Bulls. What do you think Chicago would want? Do you think they want to pluck from the Spurs roster a Devin, a Keldon, a Sohan, and combo it with picks? I mean, would the price tag be pretty hefty?
What's that over your shoulder right there? Sorry, I got distracted.
That's just your boy. That's just your boy right there.
Oh, snap! And that's from the Extremis comic. That is a fantastic art style. Oh my God, that is sick.
It doesn't take much for James to go off track when he sees Iron Man as Tony Stark.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten used to like Jinx and Goku and the Ronin. Like I've gotten used to those things on your wall. He's new. He's new. He
defeated Venom. Venom was here, but with this armor, he took out Venom. So that's what's left of Venom. That puddle right there. I know I'll move it out of the way. See, that puddle. That's all that's left of Venom.
That's cool. That's cool. Sorry, I got distracted. The Spurs. Look, I think they need someone like Zach LaVine. I think he could be their Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They need a guy that can go get you a bucket. And Devin is obviously taking that step this year. Mm-hmm. Keldon's been the dude. Wemby needs to be the dude, but he's not getting the touches, right?
Yeah.
They're not – he had what against Memphis? It was quiet, but you look up and he's got 19, right?
Yeah.
But it feels like you should see more of what you saw in that second game against Phoenix where he went for 38, where he maybe goes for 25.
Yeah.
But everything seems to come late. It doesn't seem like he gets involved in the offense early enough. And, let's face it, one of the major issues on this team is getting the ball to Wemby, getting players going, and part of that is point guard.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach's not a point guard, but I do like having someone that can go get you a bucket when you need it. Especially with, the Devin injuries are starting to become a thing.
Yeah, they are.
And, missing our game, left adductor tightness or whatever they're calling it. And I don't know if this is their way of low managing him or if he's actually dealing with a growing injury. But the fact that he misses games regularly again to start this season, it's starting to become a trend. Let's say. I don't want to say it's an issue yet, but man, as well as Devin's been playing early in the season, they need him on the floor in the worst way. And so having a guy like Zach LaVine helps you to offset different injury. It gives you another scorer that you so desperately need because you've got three guys you can totally rely on. When it comes to scoring, I guess, if hey, I need a bucket, can you go get it for me? It's Keldon, it's Devin, it's Wemby, right?
Yeah. And I think the price tag though might be a little steep But the Spurs should be able to handle it.
Is it worth the price tag, though?
If they're still stuck in a rebuild mode right now, because technically they are, then sure, why not? I mean, Wemby and LaVine and whoever stays behind, if they go player route, if they say, okay, we'll give you Devin or Sohan or Keldon, because that's what the price tag is like going to be from Chicago's eyes, then I think that's a good 1-2 combo right there.
I put my laptop away, but do you happen to recall off the top of your head what Dame Lillard went for?
Dame Lillard, let's bring that up. But it was a pretty,
because I think that's a comparable package you could see in return, right?
Yeah. So Lillard went to
multiple
Milwaukee.
Firsts.
Yeah. Let's see.
Unprotected.
Let's see.
Drew Holiday.
Let's see. Yeah, that Drew Holiday thing was pretty good. But
yeah,
it was a pretty
really once he went to Portland, I was hoping the Spurs would go get him to be their veteran point guard. That's the Drew guy Holiday, I thought if they were going to trade.
Yeah. Yeah, so Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, that was a part of it there. It was a 3-team trade. No, it was a 2-team trade. No, 3-team. It was Portland, Bucks, and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Ayton went to Phoenix. Nurkic went to the Suns. I get a stupid ad pop up. Okay. Let's see. Portland got a 2029 first round pick. Swap first round picks in 2028, 2030 from Milwaukee. Yeah, it was that type of deal. It was a very pricey one, but the Spurs can't afford it. That's the thing. They can't afford it.
They've got all these picks, right? They've got 3 this coming year, right?
Yeah, they'd be like, okay, sure, we got that.
Because you've got Chicago's, your own, and Atlanta's this year, right?
Yeah. So they got to do something with it.
And that's just this year.
They got to do something with them. So if they want to roll the dice on a LaVine Wemby pairing, they can make it happen. But his question is, will they?
Here's the other thing that I have to say about those picks, right? We've got 3 this year. We had 2 the other year with Malachi, Wesley, and Soham, was it the other year? So we had 3 the other year too. You keep stacking 3 and 3 and 2, and the roster size doesn't increase. You could still only have 15 players, right? Yeah. That doesn't change. So you're either going to have a bunch of young rookies 1 year, prove it. Can you do something? There's no real time to develop them because you've got too many players. Yeah. So you obviously can't roster them all, and you can't hide them all in Austin.
Yeah. So might as well put them to use if the Spurs want. Everybody's talking about, getting the number 1 pick. Wemby is going to fasten, the rebuild. Well, how about giving it into the 4th gear, then bringing in a proven all-star veteran? But again, the question is, will the Spurs do it? Brian Wright has a history of trading away already. He's been kind of wheeling and dealing, but he has yet to make a player deal. He's been trading for picks. Has he made some sort of player deal? We shall see. I personally don't think they'll do it. I think they really want to see what this team can do. I mean, barring them just completely, we're almost there. But, if they're completely bottoming out towards the All-Star break, something's got to give. But we'll see.
There's only one other player I'd like to see other than Zach LaVine, and that's bringing in some kind of veteran point guard. It doesn't have to be a massive name even.
No.
Like, I liked Drew Holiday when we knew he wasn't going to be in Portland long. I wish the Spurs would have made that deal.
Holiday on the Spurs would have been a perfect thing right now. Coming up next, as you know, the Spurs are on an 8-game losing skid. James is going to give you one thing that he would do right now to help the Spurs cure their woes. And I'll give you one thing the Spurs got to do right now to fix their issues. Coming up next on Locked On Spurs.
Hey, this is Chris Sabat, and you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top stories of the day with local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube. Subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get on the action than right now. Look, the Spurs season is underway. Dallas Cowboys season is underway. It's the NFL. It's just a great time to be a sports fan. You can have even more fun by using the FanDuel app. The app is easy to use, a wide range of betting options that include spreads, player props, over and unders, and more. You got to go to FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. Go there right now, everybody. I use it. You should use it too. Download it to your favorite device, have some fun, and get those winnings going. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL. I also want to talk to you about Mudslinger's Drive-Thru Coffee, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. If you're in San Antonio, that's where you want to go. They have it all. They have a wide variety of drinks, dairy alternatives. They have a lot of signature drinks that you'll definitely love. They have the Sub-Zero in honor of UTSA's Frank Harris. He sailed off already, but you can still give him a toast by picking up the Sub-Zero only at Mudslinger's Drive-Thru Coffee. They have the Alien. That's a hat tip to Wembanyama. They have it all. They even have the OG OJ. That's the Orange Julius from back in the 80s and 70s, recreated only at Mudslinger's Drive-Thru Coffee. They even have the Red Bull infused Lightning Bolt series. Those are drinks that'll get your day going quick and easy. Go there right now, San Antonio, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. Open every day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Over 300 5-star reviews cannot be wrong. They're a proud local sponsor of Locked On Spurs and a proud community member of San Antonio. They love interacting with fans. Find them on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, everywhere you are on a social media platform. They are there. And listen up. If you talk to them, you might help be the next person to inspire a new drink. Make sure to follow them on social media at Mudslinger, SATX. That is all one word. You even want to try their signature drink called the Mudslinger. It is very delicious. Go there right now, San Antonio. 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. That's in the 281-1604 area. Open every day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Life is too short for bland coffee. And we're back right here on James Pledger, a Locked On Spurs. He's glowing over the Iron Man.
Dude, it's so sick.
He loves it. That's really James. No, even that's really James.
Those are mine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, those are nice. Oh, is that the one he's flying, right?
I've got a couple of them over there, actually.
All right, we're going to get a tour of Pledger Manor right now. There we go.
I got this one with a bunch of different Iron Man armors on it.
Nice. Nice. You got the Pops.
I've got the Pops.
Look at that.
I've got the old school comic covers, a whole bunch of old school comic covers.
Nice. Look at that.
And then a couple of...
Oh, I like the one where he's flying. Like his hands are back. Yeah, that's a good one.
And then I got Deadpool riding Iron Man like a sleigh.
Leave it to Deadpool. Leave it to Deadpool. All right, we're talking about your silver and black, and the Spurs are on an 8-game losing skid. They might be 9 after tonight. Got the
10,
Clippers.
11, 12.
Maybe, yeah. All right. So what can the Spurs do right now to fix their woes? James, give us one thing you would do to fix this Spurs right now.
Give it to Wemby. Get Wemby involved early. I'm tired of him just taking over in the fourth or, getting his point. I want to see him involved early. The one blow-up game we had, we saw him get going early in that game against Phoenix. And, whether it's Houston or whatever, whoever it may be, it just seems like he kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And maybe he's thinking too much offensively of what he's supposed to do. Even his, screen and roll offs feel like very robotic at times. And in the fourth quarter, when he's trying to will them back into games, it feels like he's playing off instinct more, right? And just do something to get him comfortable and involved and moving, because I think not only does that help you offensively, I think it helps defensively, because there is an issue with this team and there is an issue with its effort.
Yeah.
The defensive effort. If I can't get Wemby going early, I just want to see effort defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I remember both De'Aaron Fox and in the game against Memphis, there's nobody even close, and there's nobody even running out to like kind of throw it.
Do something, yeah.
They don't even try to close out on 3-point shots. How does every single team in the NBA have their best 3-point percentage and shooting game against San Antonio? Because they don't close out the 3-point line. They don't even try it. And that was what this team was supposed to be able to hang its hat on, with its length and switchability and versatility, with Sohan and Wemby and Devin and Keldon. Like, and even Zach. Like, I saw Zach watch as his man's about to take a 3-point shot with the Grizzlies the other night, and he didn't even attempt to make a run out there. He just started jogging back down the court. He didn't even try and close him out. He defeated it, and the dude still had the ball. He was just taking his time, and nobody's even trying to get out there. It's infuriating. It's frustrating because at least with effort and blowout losses, you could be like, all right, there's something there. Like they're working through things, but this is just effort. This is just the effort on the defense isn't there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. For me, it's, why don't we just stop with the Sohan at PG? Just stop.
Say it.
And then let's just go ahead and reinsert Trey Jones as a starter point guard. What do you got to lose at this point of the season? You're on an 8-game losing streak. What's the worst that could happen? You snap it? Because statistically, James, we're Spurs fans, the star, your co-host out there, the numbers prove it. The team runs better with Trey Jones. Wemby runs better.
There's no
with
doubt.
Trey Jones. No doubt. And Sohan has already expressed
I've been an advocate of like, hey, it's only been 10, 11 games.
Yeah.
We knew this was going to be an experiment. Yeah. Let's roll it out. Even I'm starting to it's like bad. And then I saw your tweet this weekend of DeAndre. Was it De'Aaron Fox's comments?
No, it was Chris Duarte from the Kings.
Yeah, Chris Duarte, and where they're like, he's not a point guard. We knew if we pressured him full court,
we got this.
It was going to go downhill, and that's what they did. And the book is out. Everybody's going to do that.
Mm-hmm. So why not just switch it up? I mean, look, I'm pretty sure if Pop says Manu had no problems coming off the bench, then I'm sure he can have that same conversation with Keldon or Devin and be like, hey, look, let's just try this out. Keldon, you're coming off the bench for the next four games. Just something.
If you want to do this experiment, right? You're already doing an experiment with his free throw shooting. He's still doing the one-handed pop shots. Why not Sohan off the bench?
Sure, fine, whatever.
He came off the bench in college. He was a sixth man.
And that's the thing.
At Baylor.
We're talking about like one thing that James and I will pick, and that's just simply for time reasons for the show. But we can be here for the next hour and be like, sure, that will fix that.
There are a lot of one things.
We'll go with that. Oh, turnovers? Sure, let's fix that. Shooting percentage? Yeah, let's get that. Free throw attempts? Yeah. I mean, the list goes on and on. We just don't have time for that. But there's just so many things that need to be cleaned up on both ends of the court. I really thought that defensively they would be a lot better just because of the length and the size and Wemby. But they're near the bottom of the barrel.
Like, what was it? Wemby had 8 blocks the other day, and they still lost by like 10.
Still lost. So, and then a close 1B for me is, you already brought it up, just effort. Yeah, I was there at the Memphis game.
And that's all defense is effort.
Yeah, I was there, and I'm watching the fourth quarter like this from my media seat like this. Yeah, they're really doing this, aren't they, huh? Okay, time to do the write-up of a loss. I mean, that was early.
I saw a tweet during the Friday game against the Kings. Or no, was it Saturday's game against Memphis? I don't know. They built up that 19-point lead.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had wrote out, I was going to make up a funny tweet about how fast can the Spurs blow this 19-point lead. and then you just see like a space that says, "It was before I finished this tweet."
Oh my God, that's how bad it is in San Antonio. They can't even get tweets out before they blow the leads. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. But look, look. There's going to come a point where you and me, and like I said, you at the extra innings and everything, have to stop saying it's still a young season, because that young season is going to fast go away. And then
look at it this way. If you do it in, what are we, game 11, 12?
Game 11, yeah. 8, 11, 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are over an eighth of the way through the season now.
Give them a third. Past the third of the season, it's no longer a young season. Then we'll see what they're going to say. Before we went into the locker room for post game, me and this one other media guy from ESPN, Andrew.
Aren't there like a million media guys now that Wemby's there?
A lot of French. The French dominate more than that. But
so the American media got bored and quit going.
I'm not gonna say anything. But as we're going in
20-point blowouts night in and night out.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
We're going in, and before when they started, we looked at each other. And we're like, we already know the storylines. It's going to be young team, learning, defense, effort. And sure enough, that's what everybody brought up. Everybody brought up that. So just rinse and repeat every loss.
It's one of those things where, okay, you've told me this. How are you going to fix it now?
Exactly.
How do you if effort's an issue, that should already be taken care of. That effort is an easy fix, right? That is legitimately, y'all control the effort.
Yeah, and they're not showing any effort to control. So we'll see if the Spurs snap their losing skid tonight versus the Clippers. Hey, fun fact, they got the Clippers again, and then after that, they get the Warriors and then the Nuggets. That's what the next four.
The next 8, 4 9, games, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14?
I don't know. We'll find out tonight. I don't know. Just show something.
Look, effort fixes a lot of things, because a team that gives effort night in and night out, you can catch teams sleeping. Effort is something where you can get wins just because of that.
You want an example of that? Keldon Johnson stealing a win in Phoenix. There is a perfect example right there.
Effort.
He was battling to the very end, and what happened? Things happened. And he got a steal from KD, scored a bucket, game over, Spurs win. So there's your effort example right there. He is James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star, host of Extra Innings. We need to know why everybody should be turning their radio dial, going to the YouTube page to check out the Star.
Well, that's one of the reasons. You can catch us in a multitude of ways, whether it's on 94.1 FM here in San Antonio, all the way up to Austin. You can catch that signal because it's a blowtorch. You can listen online at sasportstar.com, or you can watch on YouTube like this and join us at sasportstar.com. You can comment along with the show as it happens live. We are live starting at 6 o'clock with R&R in the morning. And then, of course, the Blitz takes you from 2 to 6, and then Extra Innings with Pledger takes you home from 6 to 7. So we've got content all day long. We are in dead smack in the heat of the football playoff races in the NFL. We've got college football with Texas knocking on the door of the college football playoff. And, of course, the Spurs. How are we going to fix it? What are we going to do? Zach LaVine could be traded here any day, hopefully. That could blow the doors off of things. And you're going to want to get instant reaction from a local source. And we give that to you every day.
That's why you got to follow James on X at IamPledger. He'll catch you up on all things going on at the Star at his X page. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts. James Pledger, he listens there. So does Tony Stark. So you definitely should go check him out there. Hey, you guys are the everydayers. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully recapping the Spurs win, Pledger. No. Hopefully they will.
Look. The Clippers have been awful with James Harden, so maybe.
There you go. We'll have that ray of hope right there. So, and then we'll discuss all things silver and black. Subscribe wherever you get favorite podcasts, YouTube, Ken5 Plus app, iTunes, Spotify, the list goes on and on. For James Pledger, a.k.a. Tony Stark, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.